All right. This is my thesis. So today what we're gonna talk about is this, but we're gonna do it a bit differently than they do. As in, we are basically going to discuss the subjects again, but then in the context of creating. Now, because of this, I basically don't have any slides, and in that sense, this is not really a lecture as it normally is. I would say this is more of a demo that I just want you guys to watch. And after the demo, I'll give you an assignment. This is not the full part though, so at one point I'll stop, and tomorrow when I have some time left, I'll upload more. But yeah, here we go. So, this is using jQuery. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a lot of new projects. So I'm going to do this in different ways, basically how I feel like it. So just to show you guys in what ways you can do things. So I'm going to my desktop and make a new directory called jQuery project. And there it is. Now I'm going to go in jQuery project, and in there I am going to make an index.html file. In there I'm going to make the folder JavaScript. In there I'm going to make the folder CSS. And in those folders I'm already going to make my custom.css. I'm going to make my custom. Oh wait, no, not there, not there. Wait, now so it's funny. Now it looks like this is part of this, but it's not. Only if it would be in here, it's part of that, but it's not. So I'm gonna remove it. I know, put it right, but no. I'm gonna do the first time. I'm gonna do everything command. So I'm gonna create custom.css in the CSS folder. Now it is in the CSS folder. I'm gonna put a custom.javascript in the JavaScript folder, and now it is there. I'm gonna make an images folder. As you can see, I don't like typing. Let's the other one. Let's download a nice weather thing from Unsplash. Weather. Sun? Really? Oh. Ooh. Maybe this one. The fun part of web development. Yay. Looks epic, but no limit. Okay, maybe. A bit much, isn't it? Yeah. Let's do something with this. Download. So I need to move. How is it called? Really can't select you. Let me see. So I need to move. Hello. Move from the home directory. You have the downloads directory. In the downloads directory, you have a thing called Casey Corner. Yeah, I want you to move that to in my desktop, you have a jQuery project, you have images, and I'm going to call this ship.jpg. Now you don't see it because it's not like this, but there it was. So now to get the real life interaction. Oh, because I deleted it. Wait. Of course, I deleted it, so you can do it one time. Control C. Copy. You know what? Let's just put this back here for demonstration purposes. Look. Boom. No. No boom. Oh, that's because this thing doesn't exist anymore. Also here, it is now called ship.jpg. Boom. See? So I think another fun way of seeing it is to, well, let's say it's here. Not sure what my downloads look like. Then how would you, with the move command, how would you move it in here? Well, that's the question, right? So, well, you do move, and there's another way, users / Melvin Roost / desktop. That's, I always press tab so I can see it actually exists. And I type ship.jpg, and I want to move it to users Melvin Roost desktop jQuery project img. Now if I do ship.jpg, or now if I do YOLO.jpg, then you'll see this will go and it will be a YOLO.jpg here. See? But fun, cool trick is, say this is called ship, and I just do this, then it knows this is a folder, and it will put this with just ship.jpg in there. So you don't actually need to specify the file name, this one, if you don't feel like it. Okay, so now we have a ship. Let's open up index.html in Sublime. Right, HTML, boom, there. My boat website. And what we're going to do is we're going to link CSS. First of all, link css/custom.css. We'll link that. Then we're going to open up Sublime css/custom.css. And in there, we're going to cover body with image. Fascinating. This one. This thing. So this works in Firefox and in Internet Explorer. So yeah, let's just do this. As you can see, it works in this, so it's quite okay. So this is on the highest stack, HTML, right? So we have img ship.jpg. Cool, well, let's see if that works. Let's open it up here. Didn't seem to have. Oh wait, it's from custom.css. That's in the CSS folder, so we need to go one folder up, and then it should work. Yeah. Okay, it covers, but I don't think it covers nicely. Yeah, it doesn't cover nicely at all. Yeah, that's a shame. What to do? Well, you know what we could say? We can say this is a mobile-only website. Because it doesn't really matter what we do, and aesthetically it does look a lot more pleasing to the eye. So let's make it a mobile-only website. No. So, let's say in this we wanna have ships. Instead of the flying company, you are going to book amazing ships here. So I'm gonna go to Bootstrap, which is a CSS framework. Did I explain Bootstrap? Well, if I didn't, that's why I'm demoing, so you know, because this is like a put it all together type of thing, and you'll just see a little bit of how it works. If I didn't, then remind me. I'll make sure to make a lecture of it. Boom, Bootstrap downloaded. Also, let's download jQuery. jQuery. Download the uncompressed development. So let's get them. So we want jQuery to a JavaScript file. But let's first see if it's there. So when I do ls downloads jQuery star, then you see that jQuery is indeed there. And you can also just immediately, let's see, we can also copy it instead of moving it, and then instead of doing this, users /Melvin Roost, I did this, which is the same. Desktop, jQuery project, and this was jQuery, so we're putting it in the JavaScript file. And there it is. Awesome. Okay, now let's see how Bootstrap looks like. So downloads boot star. Okay, so it took Bootstrap. So it's this one. So we need to unzip it. I think on the Mac you can literally type this. Wow. Okay, this is a bit weird. Oh. Alright, this is... So this got in here, but I actually have no idea why. And I think this was possible because I said unzip and then I gave the path name, but because I am in my jQuery project, it actually unzipped the whole thing in here. Let's actually look that up, because that basically means that this zip file also has a CSS in the JavaScript file, but and it just put it in there. So let me double check that. Let's go to the download folder, unzip it here, look at it. Yeah, it only has a CSS in the JavaScript. Yeah. And because I already had a CSS in the JavaScript folder, here and here, it got put into this exactly the same stuff that I already had. So I already had a custom.css. I'm wondering if it's still there. No. Huh. So if I save you, do I then get a new? Or maybe just deleted it. There's no custom.js anymore. Can you see that? That's interesting. Well, it doesn't matter too much. You can always press Ctrl Z, I think. And then the more you do that, pressing Ctrl Z, the more these things will go away. Wow, this was a bit confusing. Sorry for that. So in the JavaScript folder, we are going to again create a custom JS. Now we have that, and we can put it in here. Console.log linked yay. So we're gonna link this here, because linking it at the end of the body is the best place to link it at in most cases, because it means the JavaScript will be loaded at a later time. js/custom.js, and we're going to load jQuery. Which jQuery though? We have a lot. Well, no, we have a lot of Bootstrap. We don't have a lot of jQuery. So jQuery is this one. It's also in our, as you can see, it's also in our JS file. So js/jQuery.js. We already linked to the custom CSS. There's also, I think, a Bootstrap JavaScript file. Let's also link to that. I think Bootstrap made use of jQuery, so that means it needs to be placed under it, because then this will be loaded in first as JavaScript, and this will be loaded in second, and this will be loaded in third. And here we want to load in Bootstrap. CSS, Bootstrap grid, Bootstrap.css. And yes, that means we are actually not using all the other files. To us, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So nothing has changed, other than that we have loaded these files. And, and as you can see, this is now linked. Oh, but we also have a problem, because, for example, popper is not defined. Well, we obviously did not make this error ourselves, but let's see what Stack Overflow has to say on this. Okay. So when I look at this, they basically say you want to use this thing. It's a bit weird. Normally a library or a framework actually like Bootstrap does not yeah, it does. Normally it's not needed for you to add external libraries, but because this Bootstrap version 4 is still, I think, in the alpha version or the beta version, it's still a bit buggy. Let me double check. Yeah, alpha, it's in the alpha. So if you don't know the difference between alpha and beta and stuff, alpha is testing for internal use. Definitely has bugs. Beta is testing for the broad audience, can have small bugs, basically. And then you have the full product release. So there you go. Okay. But I don't want to import from a content delivery network or a CDN as they call it. I actually just want to, have it here. So let's just have popper here. Popper.js we're going to call it. And then we can script on here and say js popper.js. Oof. More issues. How's this possible? Unexpected token exports. Okay, so maybe I do. Okay. Wow. That's quite a, wow, this is quite insane. So normally a big library like Bootstrap should not be able for me to do this. Would this really work? Just adding the CDN instead of the thing? No. It still would not work. Bundle.min. Really? Do we already have that? Yeah, bootstrap.bundle. Okay, so maybe bootstrap.bundle.js. Oh, maybe that would work. Yes, this is how I solve problems, people. Wait, where's the console? Yeah, apparently this solved it. So bootstrap.bundle, in which popper.js is already pre-bundled. Okay, well, that was a whole ordeal. But this is part of web development and this is part of unplanned tutorials. But to be honest, I like it that way because you will have this. Now, there are a couple of things you can do. This is actually relatively good boilerplate to just say, you know what, boilerplate like template files, to basically say, you know what, I'm gonna save this as my standard starting project kit. And then you just copy paste it, starter project kit. So you don't have to do it again. But in this case, we're gonna continue with this project, right? So, yeah. Okay. So let's actually make something. What are we gonna make? It's a good question. Something with boats. let's say we have a boat in the middle. So how did Bootstrap work again? So Bootstrap has, you have a div with classes. I think this should be something like content or Bootstrap define rows. I forgot. What was it again? Constant, content, model, container. Container. And then in that you can have a row. And in that row you can have columns. So let's have one column. Which is has column of 6. But it also has, yeah, it also has an offset of 3, which means that it will move by 3. Like so, move by 3, and then in there will be the column. Offset SM. Okay, so offset MD3. In there, we're gonna say buy my boat. Or not, wait. Boats for sale. Really? Becomes white? Huh. Wow, did not know that. But it does only uses it as a background image. Like you still can scroll, so the whole thing on that the back, yeah, that it's a background image still works, but yeah, it will just interesting. Let's see why this is the case. So let's see why this is white. Probably because the background has been set to white. So that means we need to unset it. Where, oh where? Like it sure is not here. Computed color, yeah. Color. Not sure. Transparent. Which one isn't transparent then? This one is a background image. Reboot.scss. Bootstrap background image, probably. There is something here. Let's see, what do I have? Background image. How about asset image? Mm. Wow. And I just wanted to explain you guys a thing or two about jQuery. Well, that's what you get when you want to make things pretty. Okay, now we have this. This is way worse. So, we have to first ask ourselves the questions on why is this the case? Apparently this is 8 upvotes, so I think I'm just gonna do this. Container fluid full. Okay. So instead of having this thing here, container, we're gonna have this. Same thing. And as you can see, this is almost the exact same thing, other than this added to it. And instead of that, this is full. No repeat, center to fix, yeah. Okay, well that didn't work. But otherwise you have this issue. But it becomes, I suppose, a non-issue at the moment you have full content. Let's see, what is this thing say? Document size 100. Yeah. Well, this is difficult. Wait, what? Background color is FFF for this thing. So I need to overwrite that with my CSS. Body background color is, you need to use RGBA here and then say 0, 0, 0, I think. Because then you keep it transparent. Whereas if you don't have this, you get this. And if you only do RGB, there's no transparent layer, so then you get black. That's why I need to have this. Wow, that was tougher than I expected. Okay, let's have a background color for H1, which is white, which is, for example, this, or you can just type white. Yeah. Okay, maybe let's make it transparent. So 1, 1, 1, 0, I think. How you write it then? Or is it, no, I think it's 2, 5, 5 is the highest value. No. Okay, let's see what the highest value is by just playing with it, because this is easier to do with CSS. Oh, it's because of this. So 1, 0, 1. So How? Oof. No. What happens if I type 1, 1, and 1? Oh, 1. Yeah, so these values are 2255. Now it's red, and now it's white. So you can also do 0.2. Can I edit you? Yes. And now it's more transparent. I'm pretty sure you can also do like arcs. Let's arc this. CSS arcs. CSS round border. Rounded corners. Border radius, but of course. And then you can just, style it a bit. Yes, I do say of course. But, border radius 20 pixels. Cool. Then you can just style it a little bit. Cool. As you can see, then you do need to have the boats are still in the middle. But let's just keep this. This looks nice. This is gonna look like a children's website, but that's okay. I'm not a designer. I only did it for a month, the whole UX thing. Okay. Oh, right. So this needs to be 255. 255. Right. Why do I have the guys here? Oh, right. I'm deleting and destroying my whole body. And then, oh. So this should be it. Yeah. Okay. Now let's see if we can center the text. Text align. Let's see what this. Center. Yep, that's what we want. So text align. Center. Align. It's not blue. Now it is. Refresh. And there we have it. And let's give it a position. Maybe relative. Doesn't really matter, but we want it 10 pixels from there. Ta-da! Boats for sale. Awesome. So now we have that. Scale it a bit. Let's create a couple of floats, like in terms of cards. That's what I'm going to do next. And once we have those cards up and running, we can actually do some jQuery. So yeah. So for that we need a new row. Div class row up, and we're going to create some cards. So cards will be some rectangles with some descriptions with by. So we need a button, we need about, picture, description, that's it. So let's create a class boat. I have no clue what the class will do, but I do know I need to have a concept called boat. Or boat card. Let's call it boat card. Because it's a card that has a boat. Now a boat will have text, image, and a button with buy now and the price. How did I come up with this? I just did like right now. So img src img boats. I'm gonna call it boats and boat1 a JPEG. So again, unsplash. Maybe Pixabay is better for this. Is Pixabay better for this? Well, we'll see. Boat. And we're gonna do this a couple of times, but other than having a boat, it will have a title, which is an h2. Boat. The title will be boat. Other than that, we'll have some text, which is just lorem ipsum. Not that much though. Let's quit it on here. And it will have a price, which is another class price. Price 5,000. Oh, you need the euro sign. Euro sign. Oh, this one. Oh, can I? Yes. Okay, cool. 5,000 euros. And a button to buy now. Button buy now. Boats. That's an awesome boat. What other boats are we gonna have? Yeah, you know, for the I don't know, for the less lower segment or something. Let's see what else. Yeah, and just a plain shipwreck. Yeah, this is a nice one. You know, you just always need a couple. It's not clear which one. This is clear. And oh, thanks to all the authors who supplied this. It's amazing. Fun boat. Ooh, it's a nice one. And for the final boat, no. It's like, is it kind of like the one you already have? Final boat. This one. Cool. So what's the quickest way of doing? Yeah, quickest way is to just drag and drop file there. So no command line trickery nowadays. Nowadays we're just gonna do a simple select, create a new thing here called boats. I'm using boats. I'm using a keyboard shortcut in order to get the new folder going on. Click on boats, and you go here. Let's see if there's a quick way on terminal. Rename file to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if there's a quick way to do that, to give you guys some quick terminal style skills. So this is apparently how you do it. So we go to img boats. Then we have all those boats. Then we have a little script here, which is in bash. For file in dot, is it JPEG? Yep, .jpeg. Do echo mv file. Oh, move file. All right. Actually, let's practice a little bit with bash for loops, as they call it. So for file in JPEG. For loop counter bash. call it for I in ls. Okay, so the way, okay, this is clearly not quicker, but it does train your command line skills a bit. Because as you can see, you can just copy and paste this, and then you'll see the file names are just being echoed. Um, so we'll create a counter. So for loops are different in Bash, right? As you can see, it's completely different. There's no counter or anything, so we're going to create a counter. Counter is 0. Let's call it C. Well, let's call it I. I is 0. And then in order to make that higher, you need to say, but then we have I. Let's see, echo I. And then you need to say it like this, apparently, with a $sign, because when you want to display a variable value, you need to have the $sign. It's just a bash thing. I don't expect you guys to fully understand or know it, but just to have a feeling. So now you see 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's I1. So now we can do it. So now we have, if we put I here, right, and we do this, then if I'm correct, all of this will change to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how you can like program your way out of situations. I mean, for 8 boats, that's fine, but if you download 100 boats, you can already see that you want this. Ah, okay, so this is, we're echoing it. So now we see the command as a test, but we want to have JPEG behind this still. So we type, I think, .jpeg here. Not totally sure actually where to type it. Yeah, so now you have this. And now all you need to do is remove the echo, because an echo is a print command. So when you say echo, hey, you just see hey. But when you actually type hey, it says, oh, this is a command. So when I do this, it should actually run. Yeah, and now this changed. Isn't this cool? I think it's amazing. So here's a little script for you guys. Change file names. Okay, so that's a little script. Don't need it anymore. We could have done it by hand, but you know, we're web developers. We want to do things the cool way. So now there's boat 1, so we can also do 1. You know, and it's also quite clear. Images, boats, 1. First boat. Now we do definitely need to have class boat ing or boat image a bit better, I think, because these images are different file size. They're different sizes, right? So we probably need to resize them. So we're going to resize them with CSS. So instead of the boat car doesn't matter too much yet, but boat image does. And we're going to resize it to a width with 400 pixels and a height with 400 pixels. And well, let's see what happens. It's completely not done yet. Yeah, as you can see, this is terrible. But I do think that this boat now is 400 by 400 pixels, whereas otherwise, you know, it would be, well, this. So that's nice. So what else? Yeah. So the lorem ipsum is way too big. We want this way smaller. Oh, and that's because we missed this. So this is probably working better. Yeah, but we want this text, I think, to be white for 1, and we want it to be contained. in the boat card. So I think if we give the boat card a width of 200 pixels maybe, or yeah, so let's give this also then 180 by 180. The boat card here with a width of 200 and a padding of 10, something like that. There you get this type of effect, which is already a lot better. And now you still can't really read it. So you could say in the boat card, for example, that the font, the color is white. And now it's already a bit better readable. The problem now only is, well, it doesn't look that nice yet, but we can still think about on improving that. Let's just keep this for now. And I would say, let's say that each boat card is small, 4 small. Yeah. Okay. So then we're gonna copy this a couple of times. Now we have 3 of them. I also think the top needs to be a bit, the margin top needs to be a bit there. It's a bit small. Better. Cool, now that we have this, yeah, it's really more about content. So, like, you can already, you can change the content quite quickly. We're not gonna, but you can, well, this especially change it relatively quickly to already get a better feel. But maybe you also want to have, for example, rounded arcs around everything. So, for example, the boat card would have, I don't know, border color, no, not a border color, sorry, a background color of white. So that would, but like slightly transparent as well, for example. So maybe also a 0.3, then you already have this. Also maybe with a border radius of maybe a fixed 50 pixels for the fun of it. Yeah, you can already see how things are not working out that nicely. Is it because of the padding? Yeah, so you can already see for the H2, you want to align that in the center. Text align center. See, it's better. I think also for the image, we gave it a class, didn't we? Yeah, boat image. So for boat image, oh, we already have it here. But this is not an image, so you can't say text align center. But you can say, like, I'm going to show you, text align center doesn't work, so we need to play with it, how to put it there, text align center. See, it doesn't do anything, but maybe this would. No. Or was it 0? Center image in div. Display block margin auto. Really? But I did that. Ugh. Okay. Display. Are you for real? Ah, so you really need to have a display block. Okay, that's fine. So basically this. Copy. Paste. Oh, see, the tabs are not right, so putting one back. By the way, my tab spacing is 2. Having a tab spacing of 4 is totally fine too. Okay, so there are still a couple of issues, but let's keep it here for now. Let's kill the width, because the width already exists, I think. Let's actually create a margin in general of 10. Well, margin top of 20, but a margin left of 10 pixels and a margin right of 10 pixels. Yeah, now you see it doesn't fit, and it will never fit because of the column system. So instead of making these things columns, what we could also do is making them floats. What we learned with the image gallery. Right, but now it doesn't need. See? So now you only have this issue when it gets there. But now it's not fully centered. I suppose what you could do for that is display block. No, but you can't center that. Can you? I don't think you can center floats. If you float something left, would you be able to center that? I don't know. With margin auto, you can. But then yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. Padding. Also, think the margin top, I do actually want that, so I want to override it. Now the margin auto still works, but it doesn't work for the margin top anymore, which is quite nice, I think. And the width should be a bit bigger, purely so that everything will go in one row. Here, now everything will go in one row. Because this window doesn't scale smaller than 400 pixels, that's why. Let's see, and we also want the buy now button to be in the center, so display block margin auto. Okay, so this already starts to look like something, right? So both for sale. So I think you can already contemplate on this front-end trickery that we did. Yeah, think about how you could use jQuery for this. So one thing you could do is, if you click on the buy now, something happens. For example, if you click on the buy now, then maybe just this whole thing will disappear. The cart will disappear, and maybe a new cart will come into place. I don't know. You can think of all kinds of stuff, but this is a way on trying to make this happen. Also, fun fact. You can do this for everything. Oof, not too clear. But you can do this for everything, right? The border thingy. So doesn't really matter. Yeah. Let's see. So to stop this, I would say, let's not do this, and let's just give it a color of white. Yeah, looks a lot better. Okay, so yeah, a couple of exercises you can already do. Recreate something like this, and the trick I'm going to tell you already is content is king. So the reason why this is as beautiful as it is, or rather maybe why it isn't as terrible as it is, you could also say, is because it has good content. It's nice pictures, like nice pictures. If these things would be stick figures, it would look a lot less nice already. Like really a lot less nice. So that's why I recommend you to go to Pixabay and Unsplash and check out some, yeah, check out some awesome pictures and try to see what fits a little bit. I mean, also if I would do the baby image or this one, it would already be a bit like, what the hell. So I would say recreate this as a first exercise. Again, this lecture isn't done, but at least now, yeah, at least have a setup to do something with. And I'm also going to give you the code, so it won't take you too long yourself. Don't create a boat website, like, you know, and don't just change the content. Actually try to build it from scratch, but it, you know, the moment that you get stuck, you can at least reference this website, little website here that we have right now, and do it. So just to finish it off though, let's make 6 more. 6, 5, and 4. Boom. So this is our boat website. We sell boats. Yeah. You know what? Let's completely finish it. I think we downloaded 8. Yeah. So if you don't want this, it's a good question actually. How would you select the final row? Yeah, I think you wouldn't. Maybe you can make some margin and padding rules. Actually, you can. What if you all give them, so boat, cart, yeah, boats, cart, yeah, yes, we find them. Sublime, find, edit. You can also do boat, cart, and then say this, and then call sm2. And then replace all. I think you would already get some help with that. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna think about how to, you know, if this row is getting full, what do you do? How do you make sure it doesn't always center? Like, how does the final row not center? I don't think I haven't a good idea for that now. Anyways, because you know what would be cooler. Well, maybe you don't need to center it in the first place. Maybe you can just so maybe you can just say something along the lines of margin left is 20 pixels. It's also a way of doing it actually. And margin right is 20 pixels. Ah, there we go. Yep. I think it's because of the margin right being put there. Like if there's no margin right, see, it's not centered. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you guys. Yeah. So this is, but now here, interestingly enough, now here it isn't centered. Well, actually here it isn't centered either. This just looks centered. Fair enough. But at least, yeah. So that's a bit of the question that you need to ask yourself. But you can also make a media query, right? Like in this case of media all screen width 4 pixels and say here for the boat card margin auto and now I gave a lecture on this, but I always tend to forget how to add media. Oh, and oops. Let's see, so when does it flip? So actually, let's see when it flips. Does 580? Yeah, 580. Really? Oh, max width. Of course. So there we go. And even though the margin is auto, you can still override it by putting it there. Can't you? Apparently you can't. That's really weird. Let's actually look at this. Right. Oh, oops, that's a mistake. I wanted to put it here. Sorry. Yeah. There we go. Cool. So, well, this is done. This is right for our jQuery part of the lecture tomorrow. So, exercise, recreate something like this. So, basically what I want you guys to make, I think, because when I'm going to give the API lecture, I'm just going to build on this more. what I want you guys to make is something that's collectible. In my case, it did boats. You can do Pokemon, people, basically anything you can think of. All right, see you guys for part number 2.